Run that shit. What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Late night NBA talk with Jay. Appreciate all the members for joining up. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Everyone that hit the like button on today's shows, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm not here to waste your time. I was just telling somebody earlier that I feel like other shows might not do that well because they're like too busy wasting your time. They're too busy talking about, oh, what happened? What are your thoughts on this? Nobody gives a damn about this shit. Nobody cares about what happened the day before or that day. It's all about the future. We always trying to get some cash. We're always trying to talk about what's happening the next day. It's all about like betting here. So I'm not here to waste your time. I'm getting right into business. That's what you got. I feel like that's why most of people come and watch the show because it's all business on the show. It's no effing around. It's none of that shit. Oh, what do I think of this dunker? I don't give a damn about this shit. Let's get straight to it, guys. Let's get straight. Let's go over to the streets of Detroit in this one. Pistons getting 9.5 points at the house versus the Indiana Pacers in this one. Pacers are coming off of a bad loss. They do usually bounce back really well as well. They have faced off versus the Pistons 3 times so far this season. They've beat them by double digits every single time. No, one of them they didn't, but they still covered the spread. That was the game. That was actually like a horrible spot for the Pacers. They were coming back from the in-season tournament, and it was a bad spot. And they were laying 7.5 points in Detroit. Still end up winning that game by 8, even in the most horrible spot. First time this season, they beat them 136-113, and then the most recent February 22nd, they beat them 129-115. So for whatever reason, the Pistons have not been able to slow down this Pacers team. Obviously, the Pistons have been playing a little bit better lately. They've covered 5 of their last 8 games, and they've won 3 of their last 7 games as well. But they're gonna go up against a team that's really pissed off in this one. Pacers are coming off a bad loss versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, depleted Cavaliers squad as well. So I'd lean towards the Pacers here, laying the points. It is a little bit, it's not gonna say it's too much for me to lay on the road, but it was a little bit higher than I felt comfortable with. Maybe would throw like the Pacers in a money line parlay or something like that. Pistons can be scrappy, but I just feel like the Pacers, like obviously they have their eyes set on the playoffs. They have their eyes set out of getting out of the play-in tournament. Coming off a bad loss, they usually bounce back in these type of spots, especially off of a loss as well. And I just want to see real quick, how are they ATS off of a loss? I didn't have time to do my notes today. This team is the 4th best team in the NBA against the spread coming off a loss. They're 18-11-2 coming off a loss, guys. So this is what the Pacers do. They bounce back off of losses, and now they're going up against the Pistons squad that's it's not that they're banged up. It's just that like they're a shell of what the Pacers are, in my opinion. So I'd lean towards the Pacers here, minus 9.5 in this game, guys. Let's go over to the streets of Cleveland. This one, Cavs laying 2.5 points at the house versus the Heat. 2 teams that you're not necessarily sure what you're going to get from either one of them at any point in time. You see what I'm saying? Obviously, they're doing this shit where Jimmy Butler's always hurt. His foot is hurt or something. He's questionable in this game. Now that I don't need him to play, then he's probably going to fucking play in this game, man. So these 2 teams have already faced off twice this year. Heat won the first one, 129-96, and then the Cavs won. So each team has won in the opposing arenas. Both teams have won on the road. They were in Cleveland November 22nd at the beginning of the season. Heat smoked them 129-96. Then they went down to Miami. Cavs won 111-99 in that one. Both teams are pretty banged up. I believe Duncan Robinson is out. I'm pretty sure that I saw that Duncan Robinson is going to be out for this game for Miami. This is their 4th straight road game as well before they head back to the house. Obviously, they had come off 2 straight wins versus the Pistons before this. So this one's similar. If Jimmy plays, then the Heat might have a chance. If he doesn't play, the Cavs might smack him. Obviously, the Cavs are banged up right now as well. They added guys like Max Strus. They added these guys to give them more 3-point shooting on the wings. So they're without Evan Mobley. They're without Max Strus still. They're still without Dean Wade as well, who gives them like some size and more 3-point shooting as well. So both of these teams are really banged up. I don't know what to do with I don't know what to do with these 2 teams, and I don't know what to do with these games Like the Cavs have not won back-to-back games in their last 10 games, guys. For whatever reason, it's been like win-loss, win-loss. They had back-to-back losses versus the Nets and the Suns as well. Like that lets you know everything you know. The Cavs were coming out, they wasn't a back-to-back or nothing, and they lost 120 to 101 to the Nets, guys. It just lets you know you never know what you're going to get from these type of teams. We never really seen it like this, where it's this many teams in the NBA where they're so Jekyll and Hyde. Obviously, it's all about three-point shooting, but you just never really seen it where there's no really fluidity in some of these teams, man. And the Cavs and the Heat are both of those type of teams. They can beat some of the best teams in the NBA, and then they'll go out there and throw a dud and lose by 20 points, guys. So I'm sorry, I don't have anything on this one. The total is low. It's low for a reason. Total sitting at 202. Still no Donovan Mitchell as well for the Cavs here. So if I was you, I'd look at some props in this one. LeVert has been balling. He's been playing really well. He must be in a contract season or something, the way that LeVert is balling, man. So LeVert's been balling. Darius Garland's been balling as well. And then I might look at Jared Allen rebounds in this one. That's what I'd be looking towards for the Cavs. It's hard to say with the Heat because obviously without we're not knowing that Jimmy Butler's in there, but without Duncan Robinson, you got to look at some Terry Rozier points, something like that. Let me see who else would be shooting some threes in this one. So Jaime Jaquez Jr., he coming off a bad game where he only went 3 of 13 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. He only had 9 points. Something tells me Jaime Jaquez Jr., Triple J, the Miami Heat version, might have a bounce back game, and he's going to play even more minutes without Duncan Robinson as well. So I look at Jaime. He played 35 minutes and shot 3 of 13. This is a bounce back spot for Triple J. And I believe Terry Rozier, who had 20 points in the last game, playing 35 minutes. The ball's going to be in his hand a lot more as well. Can't believe they're getting Patty Mills minutes. I can't believe it. But I'm not even going to start with that. But I would be looking at, in this game, it's a good prop game. Look at Terry Rozier's points. Look at Jaime Jaquez Jr.'s points. And then on the other side, I'd lean towards Jared Allen over his rebounds, and then possibly LeVert points and Darius Garland points as well. So it could be a really good prop game, guys. Let's go over to the streets of Boston in this one. Celtics land 8.5 points at the house versus the Milwaukee Bucks in this one. Man, the Nuggets are doing a job. They're doing a job for the Bucks right now, man. But it happens. It happens sometimes. They're getting outscored 29-12 in the third quarter. They were up 15 at the half, guys. I'm telling you. Y'all know the Timberwolves don't have a single center out there right now, but I'm not even going to get started. Some of these players and teams definitely be throwing these games. A lot of people don't want to believe it, but it is what it is. Let's go over to the streets of Boston in this one. Celtics land 8.5 points at the house versus the Bucks. This line was just at 6.5. We don't know if Giannis is going to play, but maybe this is kind of indicative that they might still be holding him out because, like I said, this line was at 6.5, and then before you know it, I look at it again and it's up to 8.5. That kind of tells me that Giannis might just be out in this game, but whether he plays or not, the last time the Celtics faced up against the Bucks, this is probably one of the last few games that the Celtics are going to just like really get up for and like treat it like a playoff game. They know that the Bucks are like their second or third best team in the East over there. So the fact that they lost last time 135-102, guys. Remember, I believe we were on the Bucks in that game. It was a horrible spot for the Celtics. It was 5th game in 7 nights, back-to-back, 3rd game before all that. It was just a horrible spot, and they were running on fumes in Milwaukee, and they got absolutely smoked from the get-go. They were down 41-23 at the end of the first quarter, guys. They were down 75-38 at the half. Something tells me the Celtics are going to remember that game. This is a total Celtic spot here. I was going to go official with them at 6.5. Unfortunately, it's going up to 8.5. Lost some value, but I do think this is a spot where the Celtics really care about this game, and they're really going to try and put it on the bus. Like, you remember getting smoked like that. You're going to remember that shit for sure. Celtics are getting hot once again, which they're always hot. Won 6 straight, cover 6 straight. Every single game they've been covering by like a double-digit margin as well, man. Every game other than the Suns, they've covered the game by double-digit. Not only won by double digits, they've covered the game by double-digit spread as well, man. So maybe Giannis comes and play and the line goes back down. I think regardless, the Celtics probably win this game by double digits, guys. So I'd even still put some on here at the 8.5, to be perfectly honest with you. But if Giannis does come back, it's going to at least go back down to 6.5. This is a Celtics. This is a major Celtics revenge spot. First half should be the look. They should come out here ready to go. These are one of those like kind of prove it type of spots for the Boston Celtics here. They should get the job done in first half and full game here after coming off getting absolutely smoked versus the Bucks in that last game. And the Bucks are coming off a huge game. Bobby Portis went crazy. They got Chris Middleton back. they're coming off a game that like everybody was on the other side when Giannis was out, and then they went out there and smoked them. This time, it's something tells me that he could possibly come back, and the Celtics are gonna smoke their ass, man. Celtics just got way too much offense for these guys, man. Bucks can ball, and they got Middleton back, and they've got Portis balling. They might even get Giannis back. Dame could have a good game. I still feel like Celtics collectively are gonna come to play pissed off in this game. I think they're gonna lock the Bucks up in this one. So I'll be looking at Celtics first half and full game in this one. Let's go over to the streets of Toronto in this one. Raptors get 9.5 points at the house versus the Sacramento Kings in this game. The Raptors, man, they're depleted. They hadn't won a single game since Scotty Barnes went out, man. They hadn't won a single game since I took them under on their season win total. They're only 1-9 straight up in their last 10 games. They're 0-7 in their last 7 games as well. 2-8 against the spread. We know that RJ Barrett's out dealing with a family matter. We know that Jakob Poeltl's out. Now Quickly's out. Now one of their last few players that was going to give them something. Now he's out. You got Grady Dick out here getting 30 minutes a game, man. Please. No homo. No, not give me more. Give me more minutes of him playing. So I just didn't like the way that rolled off there. But you got Grady Dick out here playing heavy minutes, man. What are we doing here? But Quickly was one of like their last. I mean, they still got Gary Trent Jr., still got Bruce Brown coming off the bench, but Bruce Brown doesn't care unless he's playing the Nuggets. He kind of just goes out there and collects his check. But Quickly, I feel like with him being out is major. I feel like we should probably take Raptors under their team total here. Only thing I don't like about this game is that the Kings are coming off an overtime game, and they only have 1 day to travel. So they're coming off a super late game. Then they only have 1 day to travel all the way to Toronto as well. But hopefully they bring a little bit of defense in this one. But Raptors team total sitting somewhere around 111. I don't see them getting past 105 points in this game, especially without. They could fuck around half Quickly and it would still be super hard. But without him, obviously one of their best guards, then you without RJ Barrett, without Scotty Barnes, all these guys, this should be a Raptors team total under spot here. We could just lay the points with the Kings. I'd lean towards Kings and Raptors team total under, but I feel like it's a lot better isolating the Raptors in this one to go under their team total. You just hope that the Kings don't come out just kind of messing around or playing with their food. But really, I really find it hard. I really find it hard to see the Raptors getting over 110 points here, to be perfectly honest with you. The only time, the last few games they've had over 110, it was versus the Nuggets. That was the game where they had got up by 20 points. I believe they had like 70 points at the half. And then when the Nuggets really clamped down, they couldn't do shit. Then they had 118 versus the Portland Trailblazers. Well, they did have 113 versus the Suns. But in their last 3 games, 104 versus the Pistons, 103, and then 96 versus the Magic. Sometimes the Kings can really lock up and play great defense, but this is not the best of spots for them coming off a late night overtime game and going from literally like opposite ends. You talk about going from Sacramento to Toronto, you're going like the far tip of America to Toronto to Canada, and you got to go through customs as well. You see what I'm saying? So they had a whole day to do that, but it still takes like a little bit of time for adjustment. So Raptors team total under would be my play here. Not the best of circumstances for the Kings traveling all over the place, but that would be my best bet in this game. Raptors team total under 111. I think it's a really good look. Let's get over here to the play of the day, man. I'm taking SGA. I think that he's still live to win MVP, even though the odds have moved up. They've moved up in Jokic's favor. They've moved down for SGA. I still think he's live, man. This guy has 49 games this year with 30 plus points. Like that's over 75% of their games that he scored 30 points. You know what I'm saying? Cuz has been going absolutely crazy, man. He seems to get 30 no matter what. As long as hopefully they're not get up by like 30 points in this game. SGA, now one thing to mention, he's been going under his assists, mainly because when he gets the ball, he's looking to score. He's been going under on his assists, and he's been going over his points, man. SGA I think it's over 31.5, or if you like, you can just do like the little same game parlay over 30 to get 30 points, and then that way you don't get hooked if he gets 31 points. You see what I'm saying? Because if he gets 30 and they're up by 30 points, he's probably going to go ahead and come out the game. So you could just do Thunder money line with Thunder to win with SGA to get 30 points, but that's my best look of the day for tomorrow. As it is a prop, but I like SGA to continue to build his MVP case. I think this is something that he's really gunning for all year, and I still one of the believers that think that SGA can get it. To be honest with you, I know Jokic is like the heavy favorite right now. It's not heavy favorites like in the thousands, but he's like he moved up to like minus 350. I still think SGA has a puncher's chance, but he has to continue. He has to try to get to like like 60, 30-point games. And I think it's very possible as long as he's playing 30, 35 minutes. So they did lose earlier this year, February 6th versus the Jazz in Utah by 7 points as well. So this is a revenge spot for the Thunder. No Clarkson, no marketing over there. I don't really see who's stopping SGA in this game. He probably goes under his assists, but I really like him to get you can just take 31.5, or you can take SGA to get 30 plus points with Thunder to win as well. That's at minus 145. You see what I'm saying? So I like both of them. I think both of them gonna cash. Thunder are playing hot right now. They're playing like a team that's not really gonna give them a ton of pushback. I think SGA goes for 35 in this fucking game, guys. So you could do, it's up to you whether you want to do 31.5 over his points, or you want to do SGA to score 30 and then Thunder to win. I think both of them cash, my guys. That's one of my favorite spots of the day. And I'd look at Jazz team total under as well, man. They might not reach past 100 points in this game, to be perfectly honest with you. All you need is the Thunder to come in here and lock down, but the Jazz are really struggling right now on offense, in my opinion. I think Jazz goes under a team total, but I like SGA to continue to build his MVP case. I need him to win MVP, and I need him to continue stacking up these 30-point games as well. So that's something I'm likely going to be riding for the rest of the season, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Golden State, the sad fucking streets of Golden State. Fuck this team, man. I'm going to lose a bunch of money on these fuckers to make the playoffs. I can't stand this team. They're losing these games that they have no reason to be losing. I mean, when I knew that I was probably in trouble when they lost to the Bulls as 8.5-point favorites. Then they lost to the Spurs as 12.5-point favorites at the house. Fuck this Warriors team, man. I hope the Grizzlies fuck around, beat them outright. In theory, it is a bounce back spot for the Warriors. The Grizzlies have shown that they don't necessarily want to win games. They have gotten Bane back. Let's see, did Triple J played in the last game as well. So they got Triple J and Bane back. 10 is probably too many here. I lean towards the Grizzlies, man. This Warriors team is trash, bro. This team is trash. I can't believe they even gave Curry an extension there. The way that they're playing this year, it's all on coaching, in my opinion, man. Get this guy. You gave him an extension. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck this team, man. I lean towards Grizzlies plus a 10. Wouldn't be surprised if they shocked the world and won this game outright, man. The Warriors they're not a serious team, man. I can't believe that they're getting smacked up like this, even at the house. They've lost their last 3 home games. You smack the Bucks up with Giannis in there at 125-90, and then you lose to the Bulls, the Spurs, and then the Knicks without OG Anunoby as well. Get this team up out of here, man. Fuck this team. I gotta bet. I'm gonna have to place a big wager versus them in the play-in tournament just to get my money back. Fuck this team, but they getting kicked out the first round. Fuck the Warriors, my guys. Let's go over to the streets of Portland in this one. Clippers land 11.5 on the road versus the Portland Trailblazers in this game. And I feel like this is a Clipper spot. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to lay the 11.5, especially with Norman Powell and Terrence Mann, 2 of their better perimeter defenders and 2 of their important bench guys. Well, Terrence Mann will start sometimes. I just need to know if everybody's playing. It is a Clipper spot. You can't really trust them in this point spread range. I do expect them to win the game, but we're talking about winning by 11.5. It's a little bit rich for me. We know the Blazers aren't going to give them a ton of pushback, but they have been playing scrappy these last couple of games. Even that loss versus the Pelicans, and they lost by 17, they were still scrappy in that game, even versus the Pelicans. DeAndre Ayton has been balling. He went 11 for 17, 25 points last game. He must have heard something like, oh, they trying to cut me or something. I'm going to lose my money. Let me go ahead and start to play again. He's been balling. Anthony Simons has been balling. They got Scoot Henderson back. Delano Bannon's giving them some minutes as well. So outside of that, they don't really have shit. But those 3 to 4 guys have been playing really well. Clippers have won 7 straight matchups versus the Blazers. They've won 9 of the last 10. They're 6-3 against the spread in their last 9 games versus the Blazers as well. 6-3 against the spread in their last 9 games. So they've been 6-3. So they've been shown that they can cover versus the Blazers. This is the reason why I lean towards the Clippers, because they've lost 4 of their last 5 games. They've been playing really bad. Now they have been playing some tough teams. The Bucks, the Wolves, and the Pelicans are tough teams. Now you can't be losing by 17 versus the Hawks. They can't have. That's the type of shit that's like, I don't know if I want to lay 11.5 here. They do need a confidence boosting win. This is just what the doctor ordered up versus the Blazers. They got 2 games versus the Blazers as well. The Clippers could actually win their next 4 games, but they need to start taking these games seriously if they want to try and because they're still not out of this 3 seed. But if I was them, I'd be trying to get out of that 4 or 5 matchup with the Pelicans. That's what I would do, because the Pelicans could fuck around and kick the Clippers out of the playoffs in the first round. If I was them, I'd much more rather try to face up against someone like the Mavericks or somebody that like their defense isn't super stout. But going up against the Pelicans, I don't know if the Clippers might get it. It's gonna go 7, but I don't know if they would get out of this shit, to be perfectly honest with you, man. So I'd lean their way, but I can't get there with laying 11.5 with them right now, to be honest with you. It is their game. They can win by as much as they want to, but I didn't like what I saw versus the Hawks. And I was looking at the game, and I remember they were at some point they were like +7. So I was like, all right, let's see if they go on a run here to make this a game. And then before you know it, the Hawks just kept putting it on them. I was like, bro, this don't even look like the Clippers, man. So it's their game. They should cover, but I just can't get there with laying 11.5 with them right now. Now I say that, and they probably go smoke their ass by 25, but just me laying 11.5 with them right now, I can't do it, my guys. Last game up. Let's go over to the streets of Phoenix in this one. I wanted to take the Suns here. I did think this line would be closer to 5.5. The fact that it came out at 8.5, 9 is a little bit too rich for me. The Sixers are playing a lot better. Mo Bamba is winning to the starting lineup. They finally came to their senses and put Mo Bamba in the starting lineup over Paul Reed, and it's been working out well for him. They went out there and smacked up the Heat. Now, there was a revenge spot for Kyle Lowry. He probably told them, like, all right, look, I got the scoop on Miami. This is what they're going to do. This is how they're going to play defense. But, I mean, they had a really good game, and I definitely should have took Kyle Lowry over his PRA. I said it on the show, and I didn't even take it. And we know that when players get traded from a team, they're going to have their spot circled. There was an opportunity missed for me there. Maxi's been balling. He's getting 6 man a year, so I know it's like that -250, -260. If you still want to bet it, Maxi's getting most improved player, guys. That's going to happen. I don't know if I said 6 man a year, but he's getting most improved player. He had 30 points last game. Kelly Oubre is balling as well, but I still don't think they got enough for going, because like the Suns, I do think that they're coming off a horrible spot. This is why they lost versus the Bucks. They had a back-to-back spot, Boston and then Charlotte, and then they had a super early game, like really, it was like a 1 p.m. Eastern type of game coming off that back-to-back. That's why they had nothing. You can see their shots. I watched the whole game. You can see their shots. Everything was short. And I said, that's what it was, coming off a back-to-back. And then playing that early game, it was a horrible spot for him. This is a bounce back spot for the Suns as well, and they kind of just did a job for the books as well, man. Being perfectly honest with you, they know all the money hopped on the Suns there, and then you know what I'm saying. But they are only 2-8 against the spread last 10. Suns have not been covering spreads. That does not give me a ton of like. You go 2-8 against the spread last 10, then I got to lay close to double digits with you. It doesn't give me a ton of confidence. So if the spread was 5.5, I'd back the Suns here. It's up to it's at 8.5, 9. I'd still lean their way, but it is first game back after 4-game road trip as well. I do think the Sixers could have a little bit of a letdown coming off of like a playoff style type of game versus the Heat, and they still almost pissed it away. The Heat still were only down 2 points with 2 minutes left in that game, and then the Sixers end up pulling away. You see what I'm saying? So then they got a tough schedule here as well, obviously, and them as well. Only one day with traveling from Philly all the way to Phoenix. This could be a spot where they could run out of gas here in the fourth quarter. I'd lean towards the Suns. I want to take the Suns. Could be a good live betting opportunity where the Sixers come out and play well, and then we could take Suns in the second half. I lean towards Suns. I just don't want to lay 8.5 with them, guys. I just want to let y'all know, if you want to take some of these favorites tonight, you probably want to get on the lines early, man. You probably want to get on the lines early. If you like the Kings, that line is probably going to move. You like the Pacers, that line is probably going to move. Celtics is dependent on Giannis because it already moved up from 6.5 to 8.5, now even pushing 9. And let me just tell you what some of the sharper books are going to show. Some sharper books, they're already going to 10 on the Kings. That 9.5 is going. Celtics are going up to 9 on Bet Online. The Heat is taking some money. They're coming down from 2.5 to 2. Let's see. Indiana is at 9.5. While I'm doing the show, the Thunder have went up from 14 to 15. Let's see. Golden State is going down to 9.5. So if you want the Grizzlies there, you're probably going to go ahead and take that one. The Clippers has gone down to 11, and then the Suns were at 9, and then they're down to 8.5, guys. So some of these spots you definitely want to take them before tomorrow. For me, I'll take SGA over his 31.5 points. It's either you can do that or you can do the same game parlay with him to get 30, to score 30 plus points, and for the Thunder to win. I think that one cashes as well, man. So whichever route you go, I think that both of them cash. SGA MVP, for him to shooting for the MVP is doing it every single game, my guys. So SGA for the MVP to the moon, my guys. I need you to score 30 points for the rest of the season, man, and convince these voters that you the MVP. I'd really like for him to get it. I might have to put a little something on him to win MVP as well if he goes bonkers tomorrow. So let's go, SGA. Get 35, 40 points one time for the one time. Do not pass the ball. I hope he goes under his assist. But SGA for me tomorrow, guys, over 31.5. That's the top spot of the day. Let's get this cash. He's building his MVP case. Let's fucking go, my guys. It's all love. Best of luck. Whatever you guys are deciding to bet, type "we will win" in the chat. Type all positive vibes in the chat. Let's get this cash. You could be negative if you want, but I mean, do you want to make some money? You see what I'm saying? So let's get this cash, man. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's go, my guys. We out. Let's go.